Well, they have the money, but they can't spend it. Arizona Public Schools are being told that they have to reduce spending for the remainder of the school year by more than $1 billion.
ABC 15 political reporter Mark Phillips explains why they can't use the money they already have.
When school districts plan their budgets, it's based on state and local tax revenue.
What I think they saw was these dollars were there. I'm just going to throw them into the budget. The legislature will pass that. That was probably not a great way of doing budgeting.
In 1980, voters passed a constitutional amendment dedicating 50% of the state's budget to education. This year, public schools collectively spent $1.2 billion more than they should have. Now districts are being warned to reduce spending on average $1,300 per pupil, or hope that the Arizona legislature votes to override the constitutional limit so that districts can pay their bills.
We have to do something in March if we don't want to leave them in limbo.
Superintendent for Public Instruction Kathy Hoffman says failure to act will have a devastating effect on our schools and the families they serve. The cost to the districts will be in the millions of dollars.
If we don't come back in session in January and immediately raise this cap, that we quite frankly could have, teachers and school districts facing a crisis.
Any changes by the legislature requires a 2/3 vote. And in politics, nothing is ever free.
What we want to focus on is making sure we're having return on investment in education.
I could see that with legislators too, not just the governor, saying, are we getting our bang for our buck? Are we spending 55% or whatever we're spending on education?
Chairwoman Cobb supports the temporary suspension of spending limits, then ask voters next year to decide whether or not school districts can increase the amount of money they can legally spend. Mark Phillips, ABC 15, Arizona.
In its new Making the Grade 2021 report, the Education Law Center ranks Arizona last in the nation when it comes to per student spending. Arizona spends just over $9,700 per year per student. The national average is more than $15,000 per student. New York State leads the way, spending more than $26,000 per student.